So every weekend, Netflix continues to drop big titles and series that they think are going to do well for them, and this could be one of them. Have you heard about this film? Let me know your thoughts down below. The Man from Toronto movie review without spoilers. Let's jump in. The world's deadliest assassin and New York's biggest screw-up are mistaken for each other at an Airbnb rental. So sometimes you look at a partnership on screen, or you hear about two actors doing a film together and you think that could be good. This was the case for this film with me. Woody Harrelson playing a dry assassin, with Kevin Hart being kind of what Kevin Hart's really good at, that kind of dry, quick quibs humor like he does sometimes with The Rock. If you've seen the new Jumanji films, it's that kind of character, but a little bit less over the top than that. So this film tells of a man that he wants to build himself something. He's an entrepreneur, he's trying all these things, he's trying to better himself, but he's also hampered by fear, really trying to put himself out there, really doing something. He's kind of his own worst enemy. So we start off with that character, with Kevin Hart. He's trying to do something. He ends up at this cabin. There's a mistaken identity, and somehow he's got to continue being this assassin character. Along the ride, he gets to go with this assassin. If you think back to The Hitman's Bodyguard and the subsequent sequel, you kind of get what that is. I don't think this film had a budget quite like that, but I do feel like I enjoyed this film more than that. This feels more polished. I don't think this is the best film in the world, and I think if you go in with the critic's eye point, you're going to be like, yeah, some of the pacing was out there. This is not really as good as they think it. The acting was a bit off sometimes. Some of those sideline characters, the story wasn't. If you go in with that mindset, that's not what this movie is. You go into a movie like this with your popcorn on your lap on a Friday night with your family and enjoy the action escape adventure that this is. And then it ends up being a little bit better than your average popcorn Friday night movie. It's something that I think a lot of fans will go back to watching. It's one of those films that you probably can put on at any point, like if you're trying to have something in the background and then you kind of get dragged back into it, kind of get sucked into it. That's kind of what there is. The camaraderie and the partnership between Woody Harrelson and Kevin Hart is really believable in this. And when it comes down to the action, I was asking myself who was the choreographer on this. I wouldn't be surprised if it's someone like the guys who did the John Wick hand-to-hand combat, because Woody Harrelson is really believable. And there's one particular fight scene that really stands out to me. The use of various different weapons, less serious than the John Wick styles that we've had in the past, but also really gritty, really funny, but also quite believable. Like there is an air of, yeah, they're somewhat protected within the plot because they need to be there for the film, but also they're getting hit and they're getting hurt, but they're surviving. And the uniqueness of that action sequence I just thought was so much fun that it spurred me on to see what next they would do, what other situations they would find themselves in. So there is a budget, there's some great action sequences, but it really comes down to the partnership between Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson, and they really work on screen. I thoroughly enjoyed them. I could totally see this becoming more, and I wouldn't mind it. I think this does well. If they could find a decent storyline and it's just not for the sake of it, for doing a sequel, then I think they could have something here. But for now, I think this is worth a watch. Not nearly like the best action movie you've ever seen or best John Wick film you've ever seen, but it is one of those great, fun escapism Friday night films with popcorn around the family. I think it's a 12 or something. You know, mostly everybody could watch this and enjoy this for what it is. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm going to give this 3.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. Looking forward to your thoughts down below about this. Don't forget, we have a cornucopia of new content coming out every weekend. You probably would have seen Umbrella Academy Season 3 yet. Have you gotten back to that yet? What did you think of the season? Let me know below. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.
Hey, Toronto. You ready to go back to work?
We need an extraction of information. Meet at the safe house in 19 hours.